We moved to this house when we were 24 years old, and it was an empty farmhouse that belonged to my wife's great uncle. And I was an artist, and Beth Neville was pregnant, and it just seemed like a good place to move at the time. And we've been living here ever since. That was 33 years ago. Both of our children were born in the house in the front room. Let's see. I can't think of anything more to say. One snowy morning, we came into the kitchen and there was snow on the dining room table. It just blown in through the clapboards, through a hole right from the outside. And so we spent the first few years just insulating it and winterizing it. And then over the years we just keep renovating it. Looks like we're about to renovate the kitchen again after the last renovation was 28 years ago. So we can finally correct all the mistakes we made when we first renovated it. I was telling the microphone that we're just always correcting the mistakes we made the first time, which is the way I do painting too. Just keep working on it till it's right. Sometimes I just feel like, gosh, it's perfect, and it sometimes is, but a lot of times that was a false sense of satisfaction. It really wasn't so good after all. But sometimes it just feels right and feels like something special happened. Well, this is 3 supers off my hive, and the hive is very weak, so I took the supers off because it was too much space for them to try to keep warm and protect from mites and the cold. So somehow I need to figure out how to give them a new queen. If I take a frame like this full of brood from a strong hive, they will grow their own queen. Here's Beth Neville.
Woodbury. Friday reception is $35. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner on Saturday. Breakfast and brunch on Sunday. See?
We don't remember exactly when we met, but our families knew each other. Before we met, our parents knew each other. And both of our fathers worked in the same office. And we met when we were probably about 18 or 19. Well, let's see. Yeah, both of our fathers were Presbyterian ministers, and the headquarters of the Presbyterian Church, the Southern Presbyterian Church, used to be in Atlanta, and so we both moved to Atlanta because both of our fathers were working at the church bureaucracy, the headquarters of the Presbyterian Church. But actually our parents knew each other before then. The Presbyterian Church is kind of a small club. We went to some other churches when we first came here, and we just realized we were both raised Presbyterian. That's the reason we're stuck with being Presbyterian. It's just like the tradition we were growing up with. Beth Neville is the choir director in our church, and I'm one of 2 tenors in the church choir. So we both sing in the choir and have lunch together every day, and all 3 meals together every day, because we both work at home. I'm making this a night sky, and everything has to be wet and stay wet. If it dries, then it's not going to work. The white is still wet, and the blue is definitely wet, but there's a light blue on top of there's the white on top of the light blue. That's true. I do most of everything in the day. Go to bed around 8:30.
You're like a former artist.
Wake up. Yeah, but I like the night. I like the imagination of what I think the night is. This is a painting where I've written "Glorify God" on it. This is Glorify. And sometimes I just write words on my paintings to get me started. This one, answer to the first question in the Presbyterian Catechism: what's the chief purpose of man, humankind? To glorify God and enjoy God forever. That's why I wrote that. Just for you, Eduardo.
Brethren, we have met to worship and adore the Lord our God. Will you pray with all your power while we try to preach the word? All is vain unless the Spirit of the Holy One comes down. Brethren, pray and holy manna will be shown.
food is very important to our family. We always sit down for 3 meals a day and eat together and cook. We like cooking and we like growing our vegetables and just having a meal together. And so the kitchen is probably the center of the house because we spend more time there than any other room. And sit around the table and cook and eat and just enjoy each other's company. One of our favorite dishes is any type of greens, and we cook it with a whole head of garlic, which is maybe 6 or 7 cloves all chopped up, fried with in oil, and then add the greens, and then add a little soy sauce. And you can do it on any type of green, spinach, collard, kale, any type of Chinese greens, and it makes everything taste good. And we have it at least once every 2 days.
Why do I sing?
Yeah.
Ah, I don't know. It makes me feel good. It's breathing. It's type of, maybe it's just the way people have routines that they perform in daily life, like eating or sleeping or praying or meditating or doing something. I don't know. It's part of my daily life, and singing is breathing with sound. Basically, you use your body, you use your lungs, and it's very gratifying for me. I think it's gratifying for a lot of people. I think more people should sing, and that we don't sing enough. So there.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
Sing.
I'm gonna go sing.
I work in my studio and she works in her little studio.
What's she do?
She is recently retired from being director of a nonprofit that helps one town in Guatemala. And now she's back to being a designer or maker of clothing for individuals. She used to have a business called the Consummate Clothier, where she made wedding dresses and suits and clothes for individuals. And now she's back to doing that a little bit. Plus she's a choir director, so she stays busy. repetition.
Maybe also that you have to do it. You know, you can't. There's no shortcut. I mean, John has to build up. He has to build up. He has to paint it. You can't just think it and then it's done. And so there's a lot of technique. In sewing, there's a lot of technique, but you also have to know what's coming. You know, it's like a sculpture, and you put all these different parts together. And after many, many hours, it's done. But it's a three-dimensional thing. I think that's different from painting. Because has to...
Curve,
the whole
right?
point of a handmade jacket is that it hangs level and plumb, just like a building, you know. A building has to be level and plumb. Same with the jacket. When it's on a body, even if the body is twisted, the jacket hangs straight. Or the dress, that's the whole idea behind fitting a piece of fabric onto somebody. My favorite painting of John's used to be the one that I love Beth Neville, except he called it I Love Beth.
Oh,
He was up there for a long time. Hasn't been up there for a year.
It's out in my shop.
Yeah, the resting cows on the gentry's trees.
Oh, you do?
Another one I really like, and I also don't know where it is. Oh, it's down in San Mateo. It's a small canvas that I could fit into a suitcase, so I took it down there to have on the wall in my little house in Guatemala.
It's probably going to stay down there.
It might stay. I might give it to somebody. It's, you know, long and vertical and just a treescape. It's really beautiful. It's calm. Reminded me of home when I was spending all that time in Guatemala. I don't know. I'm not a very good fan because I don't have.
What makes a good fan?
I think those people that jump up and down and say, "Oh, I love that," or "I love the way you do this," and "I love you," and I don't do any of that. The way I describe his nighttime scenes is the way you think you remember. It's the way you remembered it looked, and when you remember it, it changes, and suddenly nighttime things, even though they're at night they don't have color, but in your memory they do. And the sky is blue even though it's really black, and the stars are colored, and there's shadows, and cows come in all different colors. That's kind of how it's like it's just the way you remembered it to be, you know. It's not the way it really is.
In summer the trees block from one field to the next, and in winter you see all the way, like right now it's snowing outside, and you see the snow against the bare trees, and you see through the branches of the trees to the snow on the field beyond the field that you're looking at right now. So it's just, in a way, winter is a better time to paint because your paintings aren't so closed in by the foliage. I guess our house is surrounded by cedar trees, and they're in my paintings a lot just because I paint a lot of views from the house or from walking distance from the house. But right now the snow is resting heavily on the branches and just making them droop down, but it also, you can see the shape of the branches very clearly with the white against the dark green. And last night we thought it was going to be a heavy snow, so we saved our water thinking the power might go out, but it didn't go out, which we're lucky. But I need to go out and paint. I'm working on a painting now of that view right out there. And it's in the snow, so I better go finish it. I think I do a lot of paintings in winter because I have a lot of other projects I do around the house, and the weather is usually bad in winter, so I can't do those. I've been painting more I've been finishing my paintings outside, and that's one frustrating thing about painting in the winter, because you have to wait till it's not too windy and not too cold, or else find a spot inside where you can get a good view of whatever you're painting. Or sometimes I cheat and take a little picture of something just to get an idea when I can't go outside. But I hate doing that, because I think painting from photographs is just, you can tell if somebody's done it and it doesn't look as good. I don't think I give white a moral value in my paintings. I do use more white than any other color, but I think most artists do. It's just, you're always mixing white with everything. And white I guess you can buy it by the gallon, so I can just use it freely without having to worry about it. And you do use it I usually use it when I'm painting. I have a texture that's so thick that it's getting in the way, and I need to paint over the painting for some reason. I use white just because it's to paint it on really thickly, then sand it down to get rid of a texture that's getting in the way. But and also white is good. If you paint it really thickly, then you can scratch into it even after the paint's dry, and you can get make some nice marks that show up well, because white is a good contrast to any other color. But I don't think of white in terms of good and evil, or white being a better color than black, because I used to use a lot of black. In the same way, because you can buy black by the gallon too. Yeah, the house has a great view of the outside, and we can watch the seasons change. And also, since we only have we don't have a central heating system, we just have a wood stove. We're connected more to the outside, because if we want to get warm, we have to build a fire in the wood stove. We have the same old wood stove that we bought on our way here. We had a U.S.A. when we moved here, and we stopped by and bought a wood stove, and that's the one we still have. This is our 33rd winter using the same wood stove. I'm not too good at talking to myself. I'm not very good at talking to myself.